Good morning, Shifu, and everyone. I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I'm doing this contemplation, the dream state versus the wake state. So I'm trying to find out what I contemplate in the dream state, how transferable it is to the awake state. So let's say I give an example. So let's say a person is dreaming. So in the dream, the person is attacked by a monster. And then he used magic to overcome the monster. And then when he wake up from his dream, the monster didn't exist and the magic actually didn't exist. Right? So let's say the person is in the awake state. So in the awake state, he has his defilements, and then he used the Dharma to overcome his defilements. Then the person become enlightened. So does that mean that his defilement didn't exist in the first place and the Dharma didn't exist in the first place? And then it's all in his mind, like 一切唯心造. So like I do this contemplation, I actually find out how transferable it is. Let's say I conclude something in the dream state, how transferable is it to the awake state? 谢谢师父。
Let me perhaps clarify your question. When you say transferable, do you mean when you do a reflection on the analogy of a dream? Or do you mean that literally when you dream and then you want to transfer something from the dream?
Oh, the analogy.
Analogy.
So let's say I go and contemplate the dream state.
Yeah. So as long as it's an analogy, then we can answer it that way.
Yeah, analogy.
So then you were asking, in the case of a person who is who cultivate at some point attain enlightenment, then after attaining enlightenment, we say awaken from the dream. So does it mean that the defilements actually don't exist and the Dharma also don't exist? Yeah. So when we look at the analogy of a dream, it's meant to illustrate that whatever is in the dream is unreal. Yeah. So to that extent, then it is transferable. So our Dharma, our defilements is also unreal. Yeah. Our defilements is unreal also. Yeah. Then how about Dharma? Dharma is also unreal. Everything is unreal. But we grasp onto it as real. Our trouble is we grasp onto worldly things as real, but we don't grasp onto Dharma as real. Yeah. So the enlightened ones, they use the unreal Dharma to teach unreal sentient beings to overcome unreal defilements so that we are free of unreal suffering. So no problem. We have a tendency to want things to be real. So when we hear that Dharma is also not real, we feel a bit odd. Dharma should be real, ma? Yeah. Dharma should be real. The Dharma that we can hear is unreal because it's expressed using words and concepts. The truth that is pointing to, that is ultimate reality. That is, ultimate reality, strictly speaking, is beyond real or unreal. But with respect to the unreal samsara, to the unreal defilements, unreal suffering, and for the purpose of pointing to us, then the Buddha established the ultimate reality as real. Yeah. Because if you say that it's real, then that means it's also falling within the realm of duality. That is also unreal. Yeah. But because it's is actually beyond the realm of real and unreal. Yeah. Ultimate reality is beyond the realm of unreal. Yeah, real or unreal is beyond it. Yeah. So that's to say, again, whatever Dharma you can hear, you can listen to, you can so-called understand, that is within the realm of concepts. 都是有相的. Yeah. So that is what we call still not the ultimate reality. It is, but it's called reality also. It's called ultimate reality also, Dharma, because it points towards it. It points towards it. Another way to look at it is, let's assume that even ultimate reality is unreal. Okay. Yeah. Another way to look at it is, let's assume that ultimate reality is also unreal. So far, so good. Just assume, just assume. Then in which case, then everything would fall into place, right? Everything is unreal. So you just do accordingly, and then you attain the unreal ultimate reality. But because of that, you'll be free of the unreal suffering. Which is what we are trying to do, right? Yeah. In fact, in various teachings, it actually alludes to that. For example, in the Bodhicharya Vatara commentary that we just finished the reread, Venerable Santideva actually replies on this. Yeah, some of the schools, they actually ask if if samsara is unreal, sentient beings is unreal, then what's the point, right? You know, then his reply was, yeah, unreal sentient beings, unreal defilements, unreal suffering. Yeah, but if you practice accordingly, then you are free of the unreal suffering. Then you attain the enlightenment. Yeah, and to that extent, you can also say that even the enlightenment is unreal. Yeah, you can also say that. But the truth is, the sad thing is, we haven't even attained the unreal enlightenment. Not to mention whether we can attain the ultimate reality, which is beyond real or unreal. How does that do for you? Danny?
Sifu, my brain is now twisted in many coils already. So then take a lot of time to understand.
Don't try to understand. Analogies, you must know one thing. I mean, of course, we're supposed to understand analogies, right? But analogies being analogies, they are not the whole thing, right? Because that's why you call it an analogy. If it's the whole thing, then we just say that that's the thing. Yeah. So we must understand why we need analogies. Yeah. Because oftentimes the real thing is too complex. Yeah. To describe in totality, or sometimes it's too large, maybe the scope. So analogy help us to understand certain aspect of the thing we are trying to understand. Yeah, that the analogy is alluding to. In this case, it is to help us to understand the unreal aspects of our samsaric existence. Yeah. So the thing about analogy is it's meant to be used within the scope of the analogy. Yeah. If you try to go beyond that, then it will break down. Yeah. That's the purpose of analogy, just to illustrate certain point. Yeah. For example, the Buddha described the defilements as thief. Yeah, thieves. Yeah. He say it is like if you come back home and there's a thief in your house, then how can you sleep at night? Yeah. So analogous to defilements. If you know that there's defilement in you, how can you be at rest? Sleep being to take it easy and be at rest. Then you can also go, but it's meant to be used within this scope of analogy. Yeah. So if you use beyond it, meaning if you consider the analogy never describe what kind of house. Then if you think, but Singapore HDB, the moment you come in is so obvious, how is it possible that anyone would just go to sleep? Yeah. Or you may think, but my house is always loud. Why would the thief be inside? Then you're going beyond the scope of the analogy. Yeah. Or you can ask many other questions that goes beyond the analogy itself. Then you may start to wonder, it seems not to make sense. But that's the thing. If you go beyond the analogy, then of course the analogy, in all likelihood, will break. Yeah. So consider this. The purpose of the analogy of a dream is to help us see that samsaric existence, that which we crave for, desire, that which we fear, is just like a dream. Yeah. But what for give this analogy? The purpose being that when we wake up from a dream, when we see that something is a dream, you may still remember how you're afraid of it, but are you truly afraid of it? No, right? Yeah, because you know that it's a dream. When you're in a dream, you dream that there's something desirable in a dream, and you are very excited, you're very high, you're very happy, you pursue. Yeah, and maybe you have a very long dream. You dream that in your dream you live for 100 years, and you work very hard to pursue the grand mansion, or beautiful wife, or whatever. Yeah, and then you really achieve it. But when you wake up, then you realize, yeah. Then, in contrast, would you then still think that it's worthwhile pursuing the dream, given that you know that it's a dream? You wouldn't, right? So to that extent, that's the purpose. Yeah. Yeah. So then we should use the dream for that purpose. Oh, the energy of dreams for that purpose. Yeah. Then of course the question begets, right? Yeah, because in various texts, not just the Bodhicharya Vatara commentary, not just that commentary that says that, yeah, even the enlightenment is like a dream. Then how? But if it's a dream, then it's not worthwhile pursuing, isn't it? If that being the case, then is it still worthwhile pursuing? So consider, if you are in a dream and you are very afraid, and let's say there's a dog, or lion, some monster chasing after you. Would you not want to end the fear of the monster chasing after you? You would still want to end that, right? Yeah, even though ending it is just part of the dream, right? Or if let's say, I mean, you don't have children, let's say you have some nieces and nephew. You have nieces and nephew, right? Have. Okay. So imagine your niece and nephew is in a dream. Wow, they're very frightened. Right? So would you, if you see your niece and nephew like wow, very frightened while asleep, you can see that your niece and nephew was screaming for help, but still sleeping, dreaming. Would you then say, anyway, it's a dream, let her or him sort it out? Yeah. Or would you say, yeah, even if I can end that dream, that scary dream, yeah, at least it's an end to the dream. Yeah. Yeah. So in that sense, to say that some nirvana is also dreamlike, it is that ending, it's not another thing that you attain in a dream, no. It's ending the dream. Yeah. Then it makes sense, right? That makes sense. I remember there's one thing about dream analogy, yeah. And it is that I think Hui Wen during the Diamond Sutra asked once about how come my teacher mentioned two layers, two levels of contemplation. Yeah. So, and what is the two layers? I clarified previously. Let me just in brief clarify. So one layer is to contemplate basically just as a dream. Yeah. Contemplate how dreams are unreal. So another layer is to contemplate how we are in the dream. Yeah. But of course, have to be careful. Because in a dream, like for example, for me, sometimes in a dream, I kind of know that I'm in a dream. Then even if I have to fall from a high building or high bridge, I'm like, fall lah. but in my dream, when I fall, I will land and be okay. But in this dream that we are in, you fall, yeah. After that also okay lah. Next life okay again. So next dream okay again. Yeah, but in this current dream you'll be not okay. So don't go and fall. Don't go and fall. And the trouble is we don't see that our current existence is dreamlike. Oh, it's dreamlike. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let me just answer Esther Tan's question. Esther Tan is the same Esther Tan. So Esther asks, I am less reactive and calmer when unexpected situations occur these days. I'm wondering if I'm really calmer or too chill and Bo Chap about things. Thanks, Sifu. Too chill and Bo Chap. That's also not bad. Yeah. The question is, why are we chill and why are we Bo Chap? Are we chill because we see clearly that things are the way they are? Or at least maybe not to the extent, but at least we appreciate that whatever can be done has been done by ourselves, yeah, and the outcome depends on many conditions. So fretting over the outcome doesn't do anything more than create more problem. Yeah, if that's the reason why we are chill, then I think that's okay to chill. Then I think the Arahants are the super chill one. And then Bo Chap depends on why we are Bo Chap. Is it because we are contemptuous of the outcome or the conditions? Like we have a bit of aversion, as in like we're not happy with whoever is involved. Yeah, that's why we Bo Chap. Because Bo Chap is the outcome. There are many different reasons why a person may be Bo Chap, right? Yeah, like for example, at work, for example, some people they are quite disillusioned. Yeah, disillusioned in the sense that they try very hard, work very hard for the company, but time and again the boss appreciate those who sarcasm him. Yeah, the boss only appreciate those who agree with him. Yeah, even though time and again your disagreement has come true. Yeah, and as a result you feel fed up lah, Bo Chap already lah, don't care. So that kind of Bo Chap then not so good. Yeah. Whereas if it's again you are Bo Chap because you know that it's really not worthwhile, that you see the futility of such pursuits. Yeah, like for example, recently, sometimes I have not just recently, but over the years. Like the day I was thinking to myself, we have this website called Alaya, right? So I wrote it simply because it was an itch to scratch. Yeah, in the computing world we call it scratch your itch. Yeah, because it got a problem. So just write the software to solve it. Yeah. So because the volunteers, they have to go through a lot of hassle to track who register, then who paid, who didn't pay, then things like that. Then I'm like, let me just write one software. Yeah, of course, then along the way, there are students who say, how come we don't just use Eventbrite? Yeah, so we can also just use Eventbrite. I said that Eventbrite charges us a certain amount, a certain fee. Yeah, unless your ticket is zero value. And over the years, they have also changed their policy. Yeah, so I think now you cannot have multiple tickets or something like that. Yeah, so anyway, I wrote Alaya, right? So fine, good. But over the years, then recently, especially recently, I was reflecting. So is this sustainable? Yeah, I started to think, hey, is this sustainable? Yeah. I mean, I might fall sick, then how? One day I will die. It's not I might die. Some people say, oh, I might die. When but you might die? You will die. It's a question of when, not if. Not might. We all will die. At some point, we all will. Repeat after me. We all will die. Say.
We all will die.
We all will die.
Right? It's a fact, right? You know what I mean? It's so interesting, Like every year Vesak Day pass already. We learn about life of the Buddha, and the Buddha saw the three sides of aging, sickness, and death. Then he was very, very affected, very repulsed. And then after that, he saw the ascetic, the samana, and then he said, oh, maybe I should go and then there are a lot of different ways to look at this, right? Yeah. Some people say that, the Buddha must have been so sheltered, That's why it was a cultural shock for him. It was a very shocking thing for him. Yeah. Maybe, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. But you think about it, when we are not so shocked by the fact that we will die because we don't really think about it. Not because we don't know. Not because of anything else, but when you really sit down and think about it, yeah, actually it's still happening. Not because of COVID-19, Yeah. But it's a fact. That's why what the Buddha discovered is declared as truth. Because it's a fact, not whether you believe or not. So then it got me thinking so at some point I'm going to die. I don't know when. I mean, I haven't reached the point where I can tell people okay, how many years from now or how many months. Yeah. So sometimes I wonder, if you get cancer, at least you know when you're going to go, I mean, not to joke about people who have cancer, okay? Yeah. People nowadays are very sensitive, Hey, they say this, oh, 师父. But my point is, then I thought, then how? Yeah, then how? Then you die already, then whichever society is using that software, they'll be stuck, Then best still, sekali you forgot to pass the administrative control over to somebody else. Yeah. And even then, because I set up the system so that when I want to update the source code, right, I don't need to enter any password. Yeah. It is done using a system where I do a secure shell host connection, SSH, to the system, but not using text login. It's using a certificate. So the certificate is in my storage. Yeah. So in the whole world, only that this particular machine can log in, you know. Yeah. Even I cannot log in. I need this particular. That's why when I give away that laptop, right? For a while I cannot do anything because I'm like, I haven't set it up back up. So it's so secure. So even if someone have root, right, they cannot update it. That's why it got me thinking like, so it's not sustainable, you know. Yeah. So as a result, I thought then maybe I need to find a team, find someone, either someone or a team, yeah, to take over the source code. Yeah. But it also then lead to a bit of Bo Chap, because then I start to feel like, ultimately it's going to be at some point, yeah. Do I think that Alaya will be around the next time, in the time of the next Buddha? Maitreya Buddha come up, then Maitreya Buddha asked one of the attendant, please go and create an event in Alaya version 3000. This software has been running for the past how many tens of, how many, don't know how many years, written by one of the monk in the time of Sakyamuni Buddha. Then somehow he managed to get people to maintain it all the way until now. That monk is now still sitting down here, still not enlightened. Because life after life, he come back and then he maintain it. No. Yeah. I mean, I wrote it not because I think it's so valuable. I wrote it simply to solve a problem, so the volunteers don't have to spend so much time to, so as a result, it cannot be that volunteers don't spend so much time, then I spend so much time, right? Yeah. So I always tell the volunteers, you can suggest whatever you want, yeah, but make sure you use it, make sure it's really what you need. Yeah, it's a one-time pain for me, because for me, just code once, and for me, I would say fairly easy lah. Fairly easy lah. If you have been doing something for 30 over years, it's quite easy. Yeah, but even despite all that, my reflection lead me to think it's not sustainable. Yeah, it's not sustainable. And then from there, I thought about it. Nothing is sustainable in this world. Yeah, you see, even the Buddha Dharma is not sustainable. The Buddha didn't try to say, let me just live around for a longer time and continue teaching. Make sure you attend all my Dharma talk. The Buddha don't do that. Yeah, the Buddha himself told us, one day, the Buddha Dharma will decline. And there will come a point in time where nobody knows what the Dharma means. And there will come a point where nobody even have this notion of awakening. When nobody have this idea of awakening, then nobody have an idea of samsara. Then we are really stuck. And we'll be stuck until such time where we have the condition, maybe not we, whoever have the condition to be awakened, to start to see that they are in samsara, then the Buddha will arise to rediscover the truth, to tell them, you are in samsara, you know. Buddha telling us, 逍遥不得了. Right, I think about it. Most people, if you don't learn Dharma, you would think that this is just a norm. Without the Buddha establishing that there is nirvana, we don't know we are in samsara. We think this normal, everybody is like that. What's the problem? Why are you so troublesome? Must go and do this, do that. Yeah, so establishing of nirvana is so that we know we are in samsara. Then we end this. Then we will be Bo Chap for the right reason. So we need to find out, Esther, we need to reflect. whether your chill and Bo Chap is for this or that reason. Okay? Have a awakening day ahead. Take care, stay safe.
Thank you, 师傅。
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
师傅。
Bye.
拜拜，师傅。
Bye, Lama.
拜拜。
Bye.
Thank you, 师傅。